Hello everybody and welcome back to Tony Northeastern, and I hope you're all keeping safe and well. And yes, it's only a couple of weeks left to Christmas, and hopefully we'll get 2 more videos in before then, and maybe get this station finished. I keep saying to myself, well, it's going to be finished one day, and hopefully that day is coming soon, but we shall see. Anyway, before we get stuck into this video, I'd just like to say an overwhelming thank you to everybody who has supported this channel over the years. I've been getting some really great feedback, and it's been very humbling. As for the calendars, I couldn't believe that that has taken off as well as it has. There's still a few left, by the way, and if you want some, just drop a comment below, and I'll try and get you one out before Christmas. But as we say, the clock is ticking, and talking about ticking, isn't it time I got started with this video? I think it is. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling on. Let's get cracking. I've been looking at the analytics for this channel, and I did not realise that 4% of the viewers are ladies. So welcome aboard, ladies. Let's give a big shout for all the ladies who watch this channel. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And so it's not all male dominant. So there we go, 4% of you. Right, now we can get cracking. I just had to mention that, that's all. Right, so here we are, back at the bench. So I'm hoping that you're all sitting comfortably while I tackle the next part, which is this here. See, we've got some gaps there, and I want to cover them up. So I've come up with an idea of cutting 3 of these strips and glue them together, overlapping them. So we've got like an overlap effect. So it'll look like there's a load of louvers along there that could be opened to let steam out or smoke or whatever if it gets too smoky in the foyer there. So that's the idea I've come up with. So I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. The height that I've got in there is only 5mm, and this is 2mm wide, so I'm thinking we can glue 3 of these together and see if that does the trick. And if it does, we'll do the other side. I've decided to go ahead with it because it looks good. It hides the gaps that were there, and it looks right. And all I've done is, like I said, I glued the 3 pieces of strip together like this, leaving a millimetre gap between each overlap, which brings us up to 5mm, and yeah, and that's the end result. What I've done after I stuck this in, I just glued some quarter round right in the top corner there, but I used the curve of the quarter round to go into the crevice, if you like, and this is what I've ended up with. And yeah, I think that looks okay. It just needs a little bit tidying up, and yeah, we can paint that. I have now painted those overlapping strips with a black satin, and I'm just waiting for that to dry, and it looks like wooden panelling rather than louvers, but yeah, I'm happy with that. It just hides the gaps and makes the building look more interesting. And now I'm painting the lead flashing around the chimneys. So I've done those two, just got that one to finish off, and then we can just go around the whole building painting the lead flashing. So we're starting to add more colour to the building. Now that looks better. It's still a bit tacky, but what I've done is I've added some white weathering powder which highlights the panelling. As you can see each and every panel. It's just taking the shine off of the paint as well at the same time. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that, the way that that's turned out. What I use for gluing the glazing is the good old glue and glaze. I put a little bit on a card and use a toothpick to place the glue in position rather than squeezing it on straight from the bottle, just in case you put too much on. But this way, by using a toothpick, you can spread it on nice and thinly and evenly. And it always pays to have a few Q-tips to hand, just to make sure if you get any on the glazing itself. So yeah, so just put that in along there, just spread it out nice and thin. The glazing's in. Now we move on to fitting the plastic strips. Now it's the plastic strips that gives these windows the detail. I'm going to do a totally different design of what we've got here. I'm going to try and keep the framework as small as possible, except for where the columns are and the steel work that's underneath. As you can see there, you can see the steel work underneath. So what I want to do there, I'm just going to glue in a couple of 2mm half rounds just on that one and on that one there, like we have on the corners, and then that will just add that little bit of detail there. But as for the rest of it, it'll be some 10 by 30 thou strips, as you'll see as we go along. And this is what I mean about a narrow frame for the windows. Like I mentioned, I'm using the 0.25 by 0.75 styrene strips, item number 101, which is these. And as you can see, that's creating a thinner frame, if you like, to go around the windows. Now, because of the thickness of that strip, it just goes flush with this top ledge here. So it just sits in there neatly, and so what I do then is I put some contact adhesive along this lower edge, drop the strip in, and then just, as you can see there, where I've just put little bits of glue in and then wiped it so it seeps between the card and the strip, just to give it that little bit extra strength. And yeah, I think these windows will look far better than those windows, but we shall see. And now we have to tackle each window pane separately. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to find the center and put in the first pane, or the first strip centrally, and then every 5mm put another strip out. These strips are only 16mm long by 0.75 wide, and I just about manage holding these without getting the glue on my fingers. And making sure I put them on the glazing the right way up. Notice how I've put the pencil lines on the card and not on the strips. And then there we go, there's another one. Just got to put them in place, move them over a little bit. There we go. One down, and probably hundreds of these strips to cut and glue. It's Tuesday evening and I'm still gluing strips onto the canopy. Now I have switched glues now. I've gone to super glue. Just putting a really tiny speck on there and spreading it across this plastic strip. The reason why I switched to super glue is some of the strips that I've used by using the contact adhesive, just by rubbing my finger across them, one or two of them have come loose, so I've opted for super glue. So a tiny dot on there, and then just, if you in the light you can see it's shiny. When the shiny starts to fade, that's when we stick it onto the canopy, because that's when it's at its well, least potency, I think, and less chance of ghosting. So that's almost ready to go onto the canopy. Bear in mind not to get it on your fingers. And then we'll just put that smack in the middle of my pencil mark, and then drop that down in the middle, one shot, and that seems to have gone there. It does go off quick because you ain't got much chance to move it around. At least I know it won't come loose. So yeah. So I spent a couple hours last night and I've done about 50 strips. So hopefully a couple hours this evening might see possibly this side of the canopy done, but we shall see. Anyway, you don't want to watch me putting strips on this canopy, do you? So what you do, while I'm doing this, you can have a look at my proposed site for where the bus station's going to go. Yep, I see you're still there watching me. So while Tony's over there putting the strips on the canopy, I thought I'd come and show you where the bus depot's going to go. And it's going to be here, right opposite the goods yard for South Shield Station. And as you can see, the council have been along and started to rip out the lampposts and lift up the paving. Originally a street was going to go here with a set of terrace houses and with another pub on the corner here, and there was going to be another shop there, but I've just decided against that idea because I think it'll be quicker to build a bus depot than to build all those different buildings. Not only that, my bus collection is getting quite big at the moment. As you can see, I've bought some northeast buses, Durham and Tynemouth, to go in there. So I've had a bit of a sort out and I've got rid of any buses that don't belong to the northeast, and hence why I've decided to build a bus depot. The the pelican crossing is going to have to move because this will be the entrance into the bus depot here. So I'm going to have to pull the beacons out and lift this curve a little bit, try and round it off a bit more. Maybe not lift all of it up, just a little bit, just to bring the entrance in, and then we'll have our nice building there. Anyway, that's for 2025. Meanwhile, this Tony better give the other Tony a hand putting those strips onto the canopy. We're slowly working our way along Platform 2's canopy, and just a little tip for you. As soon as you see any ghosting on the panels, get some thinners and put it on a QT tip and wipe it, the ghosting off straight away, and it won't come back. If you leave it, however, it will stain the glass and you'll never remove it. So I'm still using the old super glue because I notice the contact adhesive doesn't stick these small plastic strips that very well. They seem to pop off. Whether it's the wrong type of plastic, I don't know, but other plastics it seems to stick on. But super glue seems to be working quite well. I haven't had any of those pop off yet. So we just line it up with my pencil mark, press down on this end, and that should just fall flat in a straight line like that, as you can see. And then we'll just press it home and keep an eye out for any ghosting, and then we'll just wipe it off with the thinners. So we're almost at the end of this canopy, but there's still 27 more pieces to mark out and stick on this side before we move over to the other side. It does get a little bit monotonous, this, doing each individual piece, but once it's done, it's done. I remember the same sort of thing was happening on the South Shields roof, but that was twice as many plastic strips as what we've got here. There we go. Let's just move that over a little bit. Just got that in time before it's stuck down permanently. And for those of you who are new to the channel, what I mean by ghosting, if you can see there on those 3 strips that I've just stuck down with super glue, you can see a white shadow there on the glazing, there, and there, and possibly a little bit starting to appear there. So what you do then is just dip your Q-tip into some thinners, dab it on a little bit of tissue paper, because you don't want to soak the glazing totally in thinners, and then just wipe it off, and that should then disappear, never to return again. I normally wait till the whole pane is finished and then use the other end that's dry and then just wipe it off again. And all these along here have been done with super glue, and the ghosting has not come back. But if you leave it, the stain on the glazing will stay. I just thought I'd show you that for the new subscribers. Done too bad this week. Got the glazing done and I've managed to do one complete side of the glazing, as you can see. And we've got one more week left for Christmas. Now will I get that done, or will it be right to the end of the year and get it done just before the new year. Oh, no pressure. Right, so let's talk trains. We don't often talk about trains here on this channel, but I think this is worth mentioning. So what do we have here? We have the W1 Hush Hush British Enterprise pulling the Coronation set. Now Hornby have done a brilliant job on this set, especially the articulation of these twin carriages, and I've had no issues swanning in and out of the pointworks on the layout. So yeah, I'm not going to do a review of this set because there's plenty of reviews out there, and my old pal Edie Pullen has done a brilliant review on these articulation sets. And the observation car, the detail inside that observation car, you can see from here all those seats which in the day used to turn round and face outside, so at the moment they're all facing inwards, but those seats could spin round. Just started to show you this set. Now Hornby have done a 9 carriage set. I've only got the 7 because the new Hassel platform can just about take a 7 coach train, so I'm missing a twin articulate set, but that doesn't bother me. I mean, I've got more than enough to make a good train here, so I just thought I'd mention that. Right, so one last thing before we go, I'd like to mention the calendars one last time because I still have a few left, so if you're still interested you can contact me on my Facebook page if you're interested in one of those calendars. Right, I think that's all from me. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now. Bye.